Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice, and we're playing as the United States. Now, we just had a rather long talk on the live thing that didn't get recorded for an episode, so hey, either go back and look at the old live episodes if you want, or join me live on Saturday mornings, my time out here in the Pacific, if you want to see more in-depth looks and talks about other topics like we were just doing. But we're going to keep focusing on gameplay now. Okay, who are we trading with? Ireland. Okay, Ireland will do. Sort of self-sealing fuel tanks. I think that is... Oh, not a one and done. Okay, guess they get better over time. Four-engine bomb bay. Yes, there we go. Okay, that is giving us 2 free slots here. Now, almost to 39, so let's look around here. Okay, that is. Yes, Australia can produce a submarine that may actually be useful for us. CAG fighter focus. 41, we'll cancel that, move that over to CAG torpedo bomber focus. And Haiti, yes, we'll go with crude oil. Invest in our industry. Okay, we've gotten this up to there. Let's see, invest in our industry. 10,000 money. Okay, we have 16,000 money. And it'll reduce our consumer goods needs during peacetime. Great. We will do that. Blueprints, we're down to no extra molybdenum. And twin engine pilot training, which is here. I think I'll find something a little more. I need to. I'm going to reduce this down a bit. Put a bit more into getting some of our ships up and going. Oh, we've got a lot. Okay. Well. Destroyers fairly soon. Those like users. What's your thoughts on the gas lease shutdowns in the middle of the current gas prices? Okay. I think it was a stupid idea. Now, supposedly, and I don't know whether it's true or not, I'm not going to comment on it's true or not. Supposedly, the Alaska gas lease that was shut down, motor torpedo clap. Okay. No companies were actively drilling or exploring there. Okay. And that very well may be true. Now, whether there should be incentives given to them to explore, do exploration drills, go periodically. Is there anything down here? Just go, you take an exploration. It's not a huge footprint. And trust me, the dirt roads that they create, they cut down a few trees, 20 years, nature will never know that it was there. I mean, it doesn't even take a long time. There's just a slight clearing in some, if it's even forested, because if it's tundra or something else, it very quickly go back to being pristine, virtually, to pristine nature, if not actual pristine nature. Just exploration drilling. And there's virtually no spillage, just on an exploration drill, because you can cap the well off. Oh, hey, there's a gusher. Quickly cap it off. Yeah, you're done. And whether you decide to actually, exploit the oil going on, what class of MBTs? Yes, I would like to know. Just motor torpedo boat, PT boat plus, I guess. Yeah, they're not really specifying beyond that, are they? Not like it's a Higgins or an Elco or whoever's. I don't know. So exploration, because that's what my understanding, with a general thought of use after it. And then there was one down in Texas or the Gulf Coast area or something, the second one. There's also, and I don't know if that one was actively being explored or not. But see, here's the thing. It was stupid, even if it wasn't being used. Because why give the optics of, oh, we're shutting down drilling leases? Well, no one was using them. Well, yeah, but why are you shutting them down? You didn't need to have that conversation. Just simply let them extend them. I mean, if nobody's using it, what's the harm in extending them? If they're just, oh yeah, this company has the lease there to do exploration. Is it doing it? No. Well, okay, just let it. If they ever want to decide to, fine. I mean, it was just stupid. Whether they would have helped out now or not, it was just stupid to do that. Some leases actually have active drills had to be shut down. Okay, there could be. I don't know, Finnegan. But yeah, it's just really bad. What tank type do you have in service now? I still think it's the combat car. Okay. Fermi arrives in the U.S. Enrico Fermi was an Italian-born, naturalized American physicist, particularly known for his work on the development of the first nuclear reactor, Chicago Pile 1, and for his contributions to the development of quantum theory, nuclear and particle physics, and statistical mechanics. I've never heard of this. Oh, maybe Fermi? I don't think so. He was awarded the 1938 Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on induced radioactivity. Welcome aboard. Okay, so we get isotope separation and leadership modifier +1. Very good. Copper sales of expired. Export of tungsten. Who to? Mexico. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, Scharnhorst and Gneisenauer are launched. CAG pilot training has advanced. Well, yeah, we'll let that continue. We want our CAG pilots to be good. And we will check out Arnav here. Oh, Willa Christie T3 for armor, and still the M2 light tank. Another combat car thingy. So, well, yeah, similar sort of there. Oh, heavy armor. Well, it's giving the picture of the M6, but it's just they're calling it the T1 heavy tank. Yeah, okay. Oh. The U.S.A. gets new order from France. Shall we build aircraft for France? We will get some new aircraft factories, get paid with money and supplies. Yes. Chicago newspaper strike. After layoffs in both the Hearst Chicago newspapers, both of the Chicago. Yeah, Hearst had a lot of newspapers. They were, I don't know if they were the biggest newspaper conglomeration, but Hearst was sort of the Rupert Murdoch or whatever of his day, sort of the Zuckerberg of his day in controlling newspapers. Sort of the person to some degree responsible for sort of starting the Spanish-American War. The Guild called for a strike that began on December 4th, 1938, as a significant Guild member. Reed was inclined to, or included in a suit filed by the Hearst papers to restrain strike activity February 1939, and his wife was arrested for assaulting a police officer that same year. By the time the strike ended in April 1940, the two Hearst newspapers had been merged into the Chicago Herald American. Okay, so they shut down one, and this is that. See these outbreaks because if this is a photo, and I believe that this is a photo. These are policemen arguing. Okay, they got sticks, yeah, but this is not 10 freaking regiments. Oh no, this is Chicago over here. Yeah, right. Yeah, this is Chicago. Okay, I hate these things. I mean, I don't hate the event. I hate the way that it's an uprising. Enrico was pretty influential in nuclear research, but was not one of the big names like Oppenheimer. Yeah, I've heard of Oppenheimer, but he was involved in the Manhattan Project and later Project. Cool. So isn't the T1 heavy tank the same? I don't know what the T1 heavy tank is, Arno. I don't know that I've ever heard of it, really. Aero engine and single engine. Okay. So that's this and that. We're going to get all of these opened up very soon. For now, I know it's just a few days, and I'm starting to do 39. Okay, let's now. Let's start on. Okay, gold mining, money coming in. Yes, we won. Folding wings advance. Good. Yeah, America had, particularly it was the Grumman, had the best folding wings in the world. That would be, or maybe it's in the carrier. I just sort of some of these I worry about. Are they still going on? Okay, no, it's here. Okay, it's maxed out. Yeah, so we got to Grumman folding wing then, I guess. Okay, we're starting to do some of these 39 technologies, so let's artillery carriages and artillery ammunition. Yeah, I agree. Okay, we get paid. Okay, so we're getting U.S. gets paid for first shipment. French investments will be useful to develop. Like I was saying in earlier episodes and live streams here, the biggest problem with American industry in the 1930s was a lack of customers, people with money, or organizations with money, or whatever you want to call it. So with Europe, and now we're still just in 39. I guess they were already sort of looking at it. So we'll get a light aircraft factory, which will help on our aircraft production eventually, and anti-aircraft guns, which I'm not planning being bombed in Buffalo, Ohio, but I think it is Ohio. But yeah, and a little bit of downturn in ICs temporarily until June 39. So 6 months. Okay, so we'll get a bit. Okay, small fuel tank reserves advance. And so that now is opening up all of these. We can start on the carrier prototypes. And large caliber machine gun, cannon combo, whatever. Okay, there we go. So we're going to move that over to single engine fighter, I guess. so many maxed out resources. Any way you can find something to spend them on? Not really. We could theoretically trade. What I'm really sort of worried about is our coal is being ground down. Now let's take another look. Okay, coal field in Boston. We have a bunch of coal fields here. Now some of these coal fields are in very productive areas, so they have a greater magnification. Meaning if it's a level 1 coal field and you're building coal resource on the ground and you're building one of these things, it's only helping a lot. But if it's a level 7, it's going to help a lot more. So these are variable base. I don't know if there's some event. The U.S., I just don't know how much we're supposed to spend on getting the coal, because the U.S. does not have an energy problem. Might have an energy problem in a particular region, but not overall. Landing craft flotillas advance. Okay, so that unlocks these. Well, let's do the 38 technology one first. Armor plating. Training. We are doing heavy bombers this playthrough. Now, okay. That's what's going to be. Well, I'm still a bit worried about the coal. Let's get the resource map here. You can see here, that's a base of 4, where this is a base of 1, this is a base of 2, and this is a base of 2. Cool. So, well, the 4, we'll put a full field setup mining thing there. Not maybe the most practical. Best return, but it is okay. Here it is, a base of 6. We've already have one more coming. I play. Oh, okay, base of 6. So let's throw another one there. Yeah, I guess we're gonna need it. Now we may find later on in playing through that some event spams out a bunch of these, or maybe if I had a different minister in charge, they would be spamming more of these out. I don't know, so I may be doing something wrong, as it were, that I don't need to do this, but I don't know, quite honestly, at this point, what if I should be doing something different. We will learn as we go along. Okay, we'll add one more to here when it eventually comes through. What's the more eventually there? That's a big one I've been missing. Ooh, that's 10. Okay. Go. Go, 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 go. Hey, Beam Slam. No secret that you're a Dutchman. Okay, so now that we've done all of that, we're going to move all these up to the top. We want the coal right now before we want carrier areas. Back to the pretty green picture and continue. Aerial mines, wood, bomb type. One and done. One and done. And yes, we're getting close to cluster bombs. Yeah, we can do cluster bombs. Just complete that row out. Okay. We have another stupid uprising here. Copper. Yeah, doing well enough for money. There, take that back. Machine gun positions. Naval engineering. Oh, amphibious. Okay, now I know what we're talking about. We're talking about one of these. There we go. Okay. Some machine guns to help us on our beach assaults. Let's increase our. Good for you, Beam Slam. Don't let these nuts get to you. I don't get this anti-Danish sentiment that people seem to have. The few Danes I've known, and I've known a few, all seem very nice. Torpedo boats, okay. Let's see, what 39 technologies should we start doing some of these ammunition ones? The ones I think can be upgraded at any time. And well, always bring a gun. You should always have a gun. I'm an American. Guns are my religion. Car designs. Always good to have a gun. Don't need to use the gun, just have a gun. That's all. That's the important thing, is having a gun. Not that you got to use it. A gun position, twin engine airplanes. That's what I was looking for. Armament. Okay, yes, we're still a little too. Export a link. Mention Bombay. Special forces. Marine HQs, yay. Alright, well. Maybe we'll do strategic bombing camp. Strategic Air Command. Okay, 4-engine bomber crew layout. Huh. Ooh, here, yeah, Marine HQs, yay, good. Now, thought it was going to be okay. Let's add you to U.S.A. HQ. So the okay, well, let's look at revolt risk around here. Well, And then we can look at resources which are negatively affected by revolt risk. So we need to send our Marines. They're not very much of a suppression force, I'm sure, but might as well send them out there to make it a little less revolting. We can bring them back. Oh, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Okay. I'm going to spread those out a little bit. I'm not thinking about business casual guns or even formal guns. I'm talking about when you expect trouble. Okay, well, yeah. Kind of self-propelled stuff. Well, that's getting awfully big. It's hard to get out and eat dinner if you're in a self-propelled vehicle. So the bomber pilot that would be down here, almost to the new year. So we're gonna wait. And tank destroyer advance, which is because see, we're going to get rid of that warning arrow in approximately a day. We're going to slow for that. So it calculates it. Okay. Argentina. Okay, Argentina. Yes, you can have a medal. Okay, so stop. Merchant Marine shipbuilding subsidies. Yeah, I was actually reading a little bit about some of this. There were several categories of tankers, ships, move fuel around that the Navy categorized, and I forget what line, what company it was. Maybe it was even Standard Oil was building the ships or wanting to build the ships, and the U.S. Navy, knew about programs and contact these people. That instead of to make it just like one engine with one propeller, to upgrade the same size of ship to have two two engines and two propellers, one engine driving each propeller. To do that, to make it go, I don't know, like 15 knots or something like that. So it's pretty fast for a tanker. That they would, for like 8 of these vessels or something, that they would do that. They would pay the extra, so long as it was understood that in time of war, the Navy was going to take them over. And the company decided to do it. Well, by the time that they get built, like 3 of them go straight into the Navy. All the rest go in the Navy, and I think eventually 3 of them are turned into the escort carriers because of how badly they needed escort carriers, even though they wanted more tankers were important to get fuel around. Okay, was it? The Enrico boat. Okay, well, wait. Um, let's look here. Okay. We have railroad tycoon. We have agricultural industry. We do not have mining or national highways. We don't need crude. We don't need metal. Well, actually, metal is more than I thought it was going to be. Do we do mining for down the biggest 15% on ICs just to get more energy? I think we might do this because we'll be able to increase the metal purely by steel production, but it's 12% now, and so we're at 3. So I think it's 4% each level now. So that's we can start researching this in 1940, so 41. Yeah, I think we need mining. I didn't think we would. So yeah, let's go for economic boost, and we're going to go long term, which will reduce our example. And we're going to continue with political spying. Media goods that the Ukrainians prefer the German Panzer Hubbardston to the M1s. Guess they want to be mobile at a time to come. Hey, Zizi. Yeah, well, they're getting, I guess, 109 M109s also coming. I don't, and yeah, I think they want mobility. They got a large country. Okay. So we're gonna go mining. Get the right one. Mining, open mines. Okay, so supplies, money, metal. That will help us out there. Get us here, hopefully, shortly better. Your data could buy. Okay, Canada requesting permission, technical support. Oh, yeah, submarine. Okay, yeah. There we go. Now we're at 83 instead of 25 there. And now we're down to just negative 23. So that's much better. But I do hope to continue to Italy annexes Albania. We've now got copper surplus, and we've lost the effects of copper surplus too. Yes, you can have metal. Yes, you can have metal. We're now into the new year. So what we're going to do is come over here. Do 1940 technologies. So without hitting the little red naughty arrow. Those going first. Okay, we still have more. It's a lot more. Something may have happened here. Uh-huh. Okay, so let's education. We'll get more leadership. We might want highways. That could be useful. We'll want that. And more manpower, less IC, leadership, less encryption. We'll go with broadcasting. Get that going. Materials. Yes, you can have metal. Armored HQs. Wood. Standard branch given the upgrade. Okay. Out now. Let's come up here and continue. Agricultural zone, which will get us more manpower. Use no, they did not. Um, to the best of my knowledge, the only thing that really is coming close to a highway was a two-lane. It's still around. It's actually sort of dangerous to drive, quite honestly. I've driven a few times. There was sort of it's the Pasadena Highway, I think it's basically called. It goes from sort of LA to Pasadena, and it was set up to not have any cross streets properly. So it's sort of a highway kind of thing. It's two lanes each way, very short on ramps and off ramps, not like we would think in most modern stuff. It is banked a little bit. There's some things I would sort of consider a bit hairy on it, especially if you're not used to it. That did come about like around 38, 39, something like that, up to Pasadena. And they're and I know that well just because I live here. There very well maybe a few things like that around here, but there's definitely two-lane roads going from city to city, but they're not built banked and highway. They'll have crossed roads, maybe not so much street. I mean, there may be paved streets, but it's not the idea of fast, efficient, uninterrupted flow of traffic. Because that's sort of the key as a highway, is that there is no cross streets. It's you take a bridge over it or a bridge under it, kind of thing, or tunnel under it, under it, and so it constantly flows with on and off ramps. The U.S. is not doing anything strategic. It is really comes under the Eisenhower administration, and he sees the highways in Germany. And he sees that this would be good for America, and puts up and it's designed as an interstate, so it's federal, meaning it's going between states. And so there are probably a few more things like I'm talking like I know of, I'm not from Pasadena or anything, but I've driven around this area quite a bit, that I sort of know of from this time period. There are a few other things like that, maybe, but not many and not very far, and nothing like connecting cities like you see in Germany. But even if you look at most of the streets, ring roads around cities, they've got cross streets, meaning, and they're getting more and more into, signals, like stop, red lights, green lights, that kind of thing. But they're not the idea of a, ring road highways that there's no stopping on it. There's accidents and cars break down and whatnot. But the idea that it's constantly going with no interruption, and other than too much traffic, then you flow on and flow off. There really is not that going on in America on any scale, and definitely not, intercities much. Pasadena is a suburb of LA, and it is in LA County. So it's not like you're seeing here, and it's Eisenhower who becomes president, after Truman loses the election. Truman, because he's sort of 2 years and can't, so Eisenhower comes in, and he sees the German highways and thinks that interstate, between states, and basically they go everywhere, in between states everywhere now in America, but that's only starting with post-war in Eisenhower. So that I give that to Germany at the start of the game with Third Reich events, because although they're continuing after 1936, building more of the Autobahn, much of it is built. More than half of what gets built, in my understanding, is already built by 1936. Excuse me. So there's no reason not to give them that at start. Okay, just get that done. Let's see. We could do twin engine fighter type. You have to understand, with the U.S., two things are different. One is outside of this sort of area, right along here. The scale is huge. It's so much larger than Europe, because we can see, going between Philadelphia and Baltimore, that's not that far. And, building a highway will get that going. And, New York, and this is, Newark, New Jersey, which is literally right across the river there. And so right along this sort of corridor down to, Washington, D.C. Outside of this, the scale of America is just so much bigger. And really until FDR's regime, and I'm using that term on purpose, that we really don't have a sense of national planning, a sense of centralized government. It's sort of do what you want. There are, and there. Now, don't get me wrong; they were improving, especially during the Depression and the CCC, so I'm thinking of the California Conservation Corps, but there was a federal one. There are bridges up in these mountains. I guess 3 or 4 of them. I remember going to one of them that literally go from nowhere to nowhere. That are built across for a planned road, and they went in and they built these bridges, and they never built the connecting roads. But they are, and they were modern for the time period, but they're part of the public works campaigns just to get people working. Again, trying to, get the whole thing going, the economy. Doing badly at it, but trying. And so they were building up the idea, but most of them are flat, 2 lanes, 2 lanes each way, and they're, designed to drive at, I don't know, like 40 miles an hour or 35, 40 miles an hour. And they'll have, so I'm also familiar with the remnants of stuff down in this part of a similar sort of road. It's been modern, in the 70s gets a highway, like we think of a modern highway eventually. But it's just sort of a 2 lane each way, wandering, meandering road through these, hills, really. You can sort of see what the terrain is like there. And, it pulls into it drives through the middle of a town with mostly just stop signs and goes on, and so it's not like a highway. It's not like zoom. You're just sort of motoring along. And these things had been built prior to FDR's thing, but FDR's administration. But he's really starting in the idea of, well, let's plan let's get a map out and start drawing where we want to do highways. That really isn't in America's thinking. And the railways are mostly, you can see, the TV series Hell on Wheels and building the Transcontinental Railroad. That was sort of government planned. But most of the railways are just, oh, hey, there's a mine up there and we're going to move a lot of material. So private industry decides to build a railway. It's not the government building. So we really did not have that in our mental thinking of it, of wanting to do it. It's sort of as needed when finally, once it's needed, not the idea, well, hey, if we build this, that will increase traffic, which will increase commerce, which will increase, economic activity and all. They don't think in these terms. The government doesn't think in these terms for America until post World War II. Yeah, well, America is highly motorized. It is, and I know IKB's around here, and I love trains too, but trains have a problem in that they go down tracks. And for being able to plan out cargoes, well, every day you want to bring 10 train car loads of coal to a power plant. So every single day, you want to have 10 carloads of coal going to a power plant. Well, that's great to build. You have the train tracks from your coal mine to your power plant, and whether they connect with, whether it's purpose built singularly, or it connects through, an already existing system, but the, actual from the mine to the main rail line, and then from the main rail line to the power plant, hooking up a little bit of extra there. Either way, that's great, because, every single day you're moving that coal to its place. And so trains are the most efficient way to do that on land. Ships are still more efficient than trains, but trains are the most efficient way to do a planned cargo kind of thing. If fuel is cheap enough, it is better to do most shipping that is, not well planned on trucks. Because somebody decides, well, we want a bunch of T-shirts, or a truckload of toasters, let's say, something that would fill up a cargo container. Truckload of toasters here in Memphis. Well, the company down here that has a warehouse full of toasters that was, say, imported from China. Oh, well, great. They just, okay, you want it? Okay, yep. Tomorrow, boom, there's a truck. A truck shows up, gets that thing, and drives it right up here, about as fast, maybe faster than the train will get it there, and boom, you're there. And then that truck will then gets, tasked to taking something over to Atlanta, and they're just bouncing all around. And it's because you're not railroaded on a track, it's not an individual thing. It's a better system to use than trains. And you got to also remember the scale of things. You might, if I've been around Europe. If it's all so compact, well, you just sort of load it onto the trains that are going back and forth here twice daily or something, if they're not on strike. But so it's a more dynamic system. And for the scale, it works better for so many things that are just sort of, you want it now, and you get it now, and it's efficient and cheap. And the same with travel for human beings, is that, yeah, you can fly into, if you're coming for the Super Bowl or whatever, and it's in New Orleans, and you want to fly there and stay in the hotel, and the hotel, it's just easy to get a taxi cab or local buses or something to the Super Bowl and back and forth. That's better to fly in. But if you want to wander around and see things, well, you want a car with you, so you just drive. And so we just drive everywhere so much around that isn't sort of a micro event going to someplace. I've flown a lot to Las Vegas. I've driven a lot to Las Vegas. And there's good reasons to drive. There's good reasons to fly, especially if you want to bring guns. It's better to drive. But yeah, there's good reasons to do each of these different sort of paths that Europeans don't necessarily understand from their experience. I'm not saying you're not smart enough to when explained to you to understand what's going on, but it's just not organized right. And it, until we get huge population densities, which we may someday, but until that becomes the case, we just will never. We shouldn't look to, and unfortunately, a lot of, for various ideological reasons, look to Europe and see, oh, well, Europeans are doing this or that, and we should do this or that, and realize, all the people that want to go to trains. Most of our trains are not electric, people. I know most of Europe's are electric trains. No, ours are diesel trains. Diesel electric. I mean, run a diesel engine to spin an electric turbine, or not turbine, but electrical coil thing. Spins up and gets electricity and then drives it through electricity. But we do not have the electrified infrastructure, so we're all of our trains are burning diesel to move around. Trains are probably more cost effective when moving goods around. Strikes, yeah. I once missed a flight because train personnel in Italy decided to strike that. Yep. No, I've had similar sorts of experiences and whatnot, and various things. That's why I brought it up. More gold, more money, yay. Okay, crude, more money. Okay, IC efficiency. We're now at 10% IC efficiency. Great, that would be much better. Bombing sites advance. Yeah, even, we have cultural differences, obviously, but, it's, if you look at, this is what we often think of as sort of Europe, in this sort of picture here. This is much more highly densely populated than most of America. You got to sort of change your views of looking at Europe like this and thinking, well, yeah, we're in France, and just think that without say this being Russia, but just if this was all just sort of like we think it, you're as likely to want to go from Europe to Berlin as you are to want to go to Europe to Moscow, and just the scale is much more that scale of transit. And do you want to get on a train, even a bullet train from Paris to Moscow? No, you're gonna fly. You want to get from Helsinki to, even if it wasn't, or let's go with Tallinn. Here, you want to go to Tallinn to Madrid? You're gonna take the train? No, you'd fly. And so that's, you got to think of America in those sort of terms. We're not Europe. Okay, what? Yeah, that was bomb site. Okay, yes. Avionics, I think. Yes. Okay, bombing site. And little girls from Sweden don't understand that. And they want to scold us for not doing it their way. I want to hear what little girls in Sweden, how many people they think should starve or freeze in India so that India is more green. Research, which opens up a bunch more possibilities. And we're going to go with flying boats. I like flying boats. And Denmark would like metal. Sure. Metal we still got plenty of. We can cancel if we start to production. Okay, we're doing much better on coal. That mining thing really helped us out. We would give them rare materials, certainly. Rare materials, we like the money. Light cruiser anti-aircraft artillery. $38. What that? Well, I can believe it because you are sort of what, an island nation here? Yeah. Is there train connection through here? From Sweden to whatever island this is. That Copenhagen's on through to this island up to Jutland Peninsula. Is there train connection? I don't know. I don't know. Airplane radio communications advance. Let that continue. And hydrophones have advanced. Be under escorts, I believe, in 1940. No, we won't push it early on that. But let's see. Well, we're going to continue to do our national development. Technologies, we'll do some of these soon, but I think we will come down here and let's get railroad networks. Yes, there are, and bridges to Sweden connecting most islands. Cool. In a few years, likely to true. Cool. I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Prolong the Neutrality Act. Yes, we're going to keep popularity up. Zinc surplus. We got more of that. Heavy bomber prototype says advanced. Just not used to doing these because I'm going to play with Germany and they can't afford them, but we're hoping to have plenty of industrial power. Mission capacity for aircraft. Port of aluminum to who? Hungary. No, thank you. Use industrial focus for the Philippines. I think we're going to continue the army. I just want them to build up their military, their army as much as possible. They don't need a navy. I'm planning on supplying the Air Force. We got these here now, but we got some submarines, some transport vessels which we may move out, and some anti-submarine warfare type capable ships. One per year. Okay. Armor piercing cap advance. That would be. Yeah, I know we could do that now, but we'll get more benefits from these early on. Capital ship light anti-aircraft. Okay. So long ago. Start doing some of these 1940 technology. Carrier would be. Let's. Well, I want to keep the episode short, so we're going to be ending this episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time for even more, yes, more Hearts of Iron. Okay, guys,